Hi guys, it's Johnny here. I'm a meditation teacher, and just want to talk to you about some of the reasons why I've found meditation for myself has been such a powerful technique, such a powerful practice for me to get involved with. Um, I've shared before about the fact that most of my life I've been very much an overthinker, very much trying to plan everything out to the nth degree, possibly bordering almost on OCD, and possibly a little bit hyperactive as well at times. But certainly having things going on in my mind and my head that aren't really necessary for me to sort of worry about. Anxieties, I know, are something is something that's very common to a lot of us, especially these days when we seem to have so many things to worry us and so many things to focus on. You know, in the sort of the modern world, there are so many stimuli that are coming at us all of the time. So I think I just wanted to sort of talk about one or two of the things that we can do to sort of help us. I mean, meditation is a massive thing that we can do because it gives us something other than our worries and our anxieties to focus on. We shift our focus onto something else. So we can shift our focus obviously onto the breath, sort of observing the breath coming and going. And you know, we make sure that our posture is right when we do that for a start. And then of course we've also looked at how we can use something like mantra meditation as something that we can not only focus on as we're speaking, but also by using a mala, we have something that we can sort of tangibly and physically sort of hold as we're doing that. So those all help. But there are other things that we can do just practically every day. I think when you're an overthinker and a worrier, one of the things that you quite commonly do is you catastrophize situations. So something happens, or you've got something on your mind, you've got to worry, and you're constantly looking about what is the worst case scenario. You know, what could go wrong? This could happen, that could happen. You know, I mean, I've run my own business in the past, and you know, it's certainly something that messes with your head because you're constantly trying to second guess everything that happens all the time. You're constantly trying to think, well, what can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? Well, what we want to do is sort of shift this perspective. So firstly, rather than thinking what's the worst thing that can happen in any situation, we can quite simply just focus on, okay, well, what's the best possible outcome that could come from this? And that could actually happen. You know, there's no reason to think that it couldn't. And when we get those very stressful moments, we can do things like we can just stop, just watch our breath. You know, we can inhale calm and just exhale the worries. So we can kind of just take the calm in and let go of the worries. That's something that we can just practice. Very, very simple, but you know, it's the simple things that work sometimes. You know, and there's things like sort of, we can sort of ground ourselves in our senses as well. So when we're sort of sensing, touching something, tasting something, smelling, whatever, the things that we can focus our minds on the senses rather than the thoughts. So one sort of simple thing is you could do something like take an ice cube in your hand. You know, at that time when you're really worried and stressed, and you can just feel the sensation of that. It's something tangible that you can feel. You know, just hold it, feel how it feels. You know, for a few seconds. It kind of almost forces you to turn away from the thoughts and the stresses and back to the sensory side of things. You could sort of get a chunk of chocolate, pop it on your tongue. Don't suck it, don't chew it, just allow it to gradually melt, and you get that sensation. So it's kind of it's a pleasant thing that you're giving yourself to do, but it's something that you can sort of take yourself away from the stresses for a little while. It's all about, because really, when the more we meditate, the more we realise that this life and everything in it, everything is transient, everything's passing away, nothing's permanent, everything will change. And if we look back on our lives and we look back at all the things that we've gone through, the problems, the situations, whatever, there probably are really bad outcomes that we projected and prospected that would happen to us, with this situation that was happening. And probably most of the time it didn't happen. And let's face it, that 99% of the things that we worry about on a day-to-day basis never actually happen. They don't actually come to pass. But we've still worried about them, we've still wasted time, and we've lost our inner peace. Another really good thing to do, and a practical thing to do, is to make a journal. So get a notebook. I've got a notebook here that I'll write in every day. Get a notebook, and in a similar way to how I spoke about before you meditate, if you've got any sort of worries, issues, concerns that are going around in your mind, any major thoughts or minor thoughts even, you can almost take those thoughts metaphorically and kind of sit them on a shelf. Just put them on the shelf. And then after the meditation, you can go and take them up if you like, but the chances are after the meditation, you won't feel as bad about them anyway. In a similar way with the journal, what you can do is you can offload some of the worries and the concerns and the anxieties that you have. As they come to your mind, if they're troubling you, if you've got a time of day and you think, I'm just so stressed, I'm so worried about, I've got all of these things going around in my head, I don't know what to do about this, I don't know what to do about that. It's really good practice to just get a pen and a notebook and just write those worries and concerns down and put them on one side. And again, if we can take some time in meditation, we can go back to them later if we wish. But you'll find that by distancing yourself from the worries and the anxieties and the stresses, that it naturally has a calming effect on you anyway. The stresses, whatever the things were that were stressing you, they wouldn't have gone away after meditation. But to just put them on one side really helps. And these are just practical things that we can do every day. Just to have sort of like 15 minutes of not thinking, 10, 15, 20 minutes of not thinking for a time. It's amazing how the mind calms, the body de-stresses, and our hearts raise and feel lighter. So, those are just a few little tips and things that I found for myself. You might have other things. Certainly, if you want to put something in the comments about things that help you, by all means do so. And yeah, I hope that helps anyway. And I'll catch you in the next video. But yeah, if you want to subscribe or if you want to leave any comments, then please feel free to do so. Thank you very much. Namaskaram.